Alrighty, so I've been told that this is a really good game. So hopefully that's indeed true. On the left-hand side, we've got Excelsior, who's playing for Rohan, and he's going for 1-2 standard farms, the ones that give you discount on cavalry. So presumably he's going with the cavalry start, or he wants to save on the costs of farms in the beginning of the game. We'll see in a sec. On the other hand, we've got on the right-hand side of the map, or the bottom side of the map, we've got Anterias, who's playing for Rivendell, and he's going for 2 orchards and a Brilliant Encampment. Both are pretty good players, so I'm expecting that this is going to be a good match. And I think there was some discussion. I'm not sure if it was specifically about this replay, but there was some general discussion recently about this specific matchup, Rivendell versus Rohan, and there were basically 2 camps of people saying that this matchup is easy for Rivendell, and I'm in that camp of people, and the other guys were saying that Rohan has the upper hand in the matchup. In my experience, Rivendell wins this pretty darn easily, but it might just be that I haven't really met a good Rohan player. Rohan seems to be a very underappreciated faction in the community, I would say. I haven't really met that many players that have Rohan as their main faction, or are, very deeply familiar with Rohan features and playstyle, and, trying to use everything that the faction can offer. So yeah, we'll see. So Excelsior indeed went with the stables and got his first battalion of horsemen of the mark on the field, and he converted one of his starting farms to peasant production. And I'm assuming he was forced to do that because he saw this pikeman battalion, and obviously he cannot defend it with cavalry. So he was forced to switch this to peasant production because he did not have a separate farm from which to spam peasants yet, and that is due to his cap start. So Anterias was actually betting on that by, we didn't see it on screen, but when I switched to his base, I'm basically sure that he went with a fast Brilliant Encampment, which means his first 2 buildings, first one was Orchard and second one was Brilliant Encampment, and he went with the pikes with the hope that exactly this would happen, that he would catch Excelsior off guard and get one of his farms. But at the same time, he loses one of his orchards because obviously, while Excelsior was scrambling to defend his farms on the base, he sent the cavalry. He didn't, leave the cavalry in the base, but rather sent it to the opponent's base, which is obviously the correct thing to do, because if you know that you're gonna lose one of your farms in a guaranteed manner, then obviously you're much better off going for a trade and at least getting one of his orchards as well. And obviously cavalry wouldn't have done anything to pikes. So so Excelsior is expanding on the bottom side of the map, and after 6 farms, after he gets the full discount on cavalry, he switches his farms to windmills, which is the exact correct thing to do. Basically, ideally, you would want the full discount on both infantry and also your cavalry. So farms stack discount up to 6, and I'm pretty sure windmills is up to 6 as well. Indeed. So if you've got at least 6 of them on the map, then you get 25% discount on infantry and also cavalry, which can save you a whole lot of money, which you can then invest into heroes, or upgrades, or maybe some heroic units, Kingsguard, Helmingus perhaps, although I don't really see Helmingus used that much in competitive gameplay. Anyway, so he's building a windmill over here, and I'm assuming he's gonna use this for peasant recruitment. And on the other hand, we see that Anterias has his first Dunedain Outrider battalion on the map. I think that they cost 700 normally, but orchards also give you discount, and in this specific case, they give you discount on cavalry. That's why he's able to recruit them with just 520 at this point already. So this unit is pretty darn overpowered on the patch. First of all, it has insane HP. I think it's something like 700 HP. I don't remember the specific numbers, but I looked in the code sometime, and I think it was 700. And I'm pretty damn sure that it's going to be nerfed on the next patch, though I don't remember if the armor is going to be nerfed or the HP. But it doesn't really matter, I guess. For all intents and purposes, the important thing is that they will be nerfed, because at this moment, this cavalry is just insanely tanky and also deals really high damage. Anyhow, so Excelsior has gone for his draft ability, and he has 2 of his windmills for ready for peasant production. And Anterias is pushing from the top side with 2 battalions of pikes and 1 battalion of outriders, rather. And on the other hand, Excelsior is kind of scrambling to find more orchards from Anterias. I'm assuming he wants to creep here, and he also has his first battalion of Dunedain Rangers. Yeah, Dunedain Rangers on the field. Excelsior actually does not have that much back in his base to defend. I'm not sure why Anterias is going for the stables here. It's just level 1. Excelsior can just easily rebuild it. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that decision. I think he's gonna get it with the help of cavalry, but the cavalry needs to retreat immediately afterwards because Excelsior already has pikes on the field. He does get the sables, but he also feeds Elwyn, although he desperately wants to get Elwyn, and that's a good trade. Even if he loses all of his outriders, which he will. Unfortunately, I didn't really notice which level they were. I think they were leveled up, level 3 or 2 at least. But that's a good trade. We give up like 550 resources for Elwyn, who is a very central hero in Rohan's early game, especially if you're going with a Rohan, not Rohan, but peasant strategy. And she costs 1,000, and I don't think Excelsior has the flag upgrades. Basically, the first upgrade on the first fortress that gives you discount on the heroes, which means that he recruited her for the full price, 1,000. So good trade for Anterias over there. Anterias crept over here, also crept over here, and let's just summarize the situation on the map as we're kind of in a standstill for a couple of seconds here. And Anterias surprisingly goes with Gildor. That's interesting. I never basically build them in I want to say in 1v1s, but I never build him in team games either, unless I'm cash floating, Although I very rarely I very rarely play rather team games. So anyway, just to recap, Rohan has 735 command points. That's including these 2 farms, which are essentially useless, in terms of resource production. He's gone with draft, and he also has an additional 5 power points. On the other hand, Anterias has 800 command points. His army is smaller, but he has a hero, and Excelsior does not have a hero. He had it, but lost it to the Outriders. And in terms of power points, Anterias is definitely ahead. By 5 points, no less. Damn, that's huge. Like for this period of the game, being ahead by 5 power points is pretty big. So Gildor obviously has this summon on level 3, I think, which gives you pikeman units, which also give you fear resist. Yeah, fear resist. So Dunedain Rangers, I'm not sure they're gonna be able to escape here, as they're getting body blocked by these peasants. Pesky 202 stuff. And Anterias went with Halbarad. That's very interesting. He went with the, with the Sons of Elrond. So presumably, if he went with this ability, then he's also gonna build them, which makes sense. They're also overpowered on this. I feel like these 2 factions have like quite a big amount of overpowered features on the patch, although most of them are addressed in A0. So yeah. So generally speaking, I think the replay. I don't think I'm going to spoil anything by saying this, but the replay is called basically something like Rivendell heroes versus Rohan heroes. And I'm assuming that that's going to be the central theme of this, interaction of this match. And yeah, so Anterias doesn't really have much of an army at this point on the field. And on the other hand, Excelsior is running around with a clump of peasants plus pikemen plus Eowyn, who gives leadership to the peasants. Has his horsemen on the Mark Battalion, is sending it probably on the top flank to harass, or rather is gonna trample this battalion of bounders first. And ooh, there we go. Anterias has his second hero rather on the field. First was Gildor, obviously, but if you get Elladan, you obviously are also going to go with Rohir, and indeed Rohir is here. And for those of you unfamiliar with the mod, by the way, was this a builder save, or he actually wanted to go with the elite barracks from which you can get Noldor units? I'm not sure. I mean, his eco definitely does. He actually built one. I wanted to say his eco isn't in a situation right now, so like he just basically he can't afford those units. They are very expensive and they don't get any discounts. So that's an interesting choice. Anyway, so just to finish the previous thought, for those of you unfamiliar, Excelsior was harassing with the Horsemen of the Mark Battalion, by the way. Those of you unfamiliar with Age of the Ring, so you can recruit the Sons of Elrond if you go with the Tier 2 ability, which unlocks them. And you build them from the Dunedain encampment. And each one costs 1,000, I think. By the way, Excelsior also has Eomer, which is a must-have hero for Rohan. And yeah, this is going to be problematic to deal with for Anterias. So so the Sons of Elrond buff each other, or rather, one of them buffs the other. Let's see, not to give you false information. So Elladan gains 100 damage, 100 armor, and that's huge. If he's fighting near his brother. So that's Elladan, right? And this one is Rohir. So obviously the buff works on only one of the brothers, but together they're a freaking menace. Especially if you've got Strider or Aragorn on the field with them, you get 2 heals on them. And Anterias has purchased the heal from the Palantir, from the PowerPoint ability tier 1 already, to do exactly that. Like, you've got basically double heal on the stack of heroes. The brothers Gildor and Aragorn, and he's running around with 4 heroes and 2 pikeman units. That's it. That is actually nuts. In terms of gameplay, that is like funny as hell. And these guys take down farms very quickly, so you can actually do that. And these pikeman units are gonna chase after the Rohan units. I understand the strategy, but I feel like this is a bit too much, But we'll see. He's quickly gaining power points over here, but one of the brothers is getting focus, but no problem at all. Aragorn is using his heal, right? Yes, he pops out his heal. All the heroes nearby get healed. Eowyn goes down, because obviously, as strong as Eowyn is, she can't solo against 5 heroes. And, Gildor uses his summon of pikes, and 4 heroes are just soloing a whole army. Now, you might say that, by the way, Excelsior is losing his pikeman? Not pikeman. He lost his entire cavalry on 2 battalion of units. 2 battalions of units, that's actually insane. Did he lose Eomer as well? If you lost Eomer, then that must be tilting. Theoden lives, but I'm not sure that this is going to be for too long, because Anterias has 2 ranged heroes, Halbarad and also Aragorn. So, maybe? Oh no. Theodred goes down as well. Excelsior is in a dire freaking situation. I can't believe that Anterias made this work. Well, I have used a very similar strategy before, but I didn't use it so recklessly. I had at least some cover with the heroes. He, on the other hand, had just one battalion of pikes. Although I guess it makes sense. Like, what are the peasants gonna do against such strong heroes that have such strong buffs? Anyway, so it seems like Excelsior is trying to adapt, and he has graded his stables to level 3, from which you obviously get access to Kingsguard, which are also super powerful units. They don't really die to pikes. I mean, tier 1 pikes from 1 to tramples. You need like elite pikes to one-shot them. And XD over here, Anterias is just one of his builder. Does he have a library? Like, exactly when I was about to say that he built a library, I feel like he should have done that ages ago. And I also think he should spam his economy a bit more and give these guys some cover, and not only you know, pike cover, but also some, I don't know, swordsman units maybe. And as I say that, I hadn't noticed, but he has graded his Rivendell dormitory to level 3, and he's got his LOTR. Very, very ballsy strategy. I like it though. I like it a lot because it kind of exposes the broken nature of the Rivendell hero spam strategy. Anyhow, so Excelsior has revived Eowyn. Correct choice. He also needs Eomer if he plans to take down these heroes. Eomer, Eowyn, Kingsguard. Then he'll have a chance. Otherwise not really. These guys can wreck this entire clump. Like, if you just look at this visually, you might think that, oh man, like Rohan has so many troops. But on the other hand, Halbrand needs to be careful as he doesn't have that much armor as the other heroes. But on the other hand, the Rivendell, but you know, the Rohan army is just like tier 1 infantry. These guys are really strong heroes, and they're accompanied by LOTR, which is a heroic battalion, and I think one of their abilities also gives them splash damage, but it's not this one apparently. Siege of Eregion, War of the Last Alliance. Anterias has tier 3, by the way. Oh yeah, it's this one. So Follow Angmar, which is accessible at level 5, and at level 5 they gain splash damage. Well, it's gonna take a while to, you know, level them up to level 5, but we'll see. So he uses the Gandalf summon, and he's gonna knock back all this clump of units and get them wrecked, I'm assuming. But Eomer is over here with 1 Kingsguard, and I'm assuming Eomer is gonna try to take down one of the brothers, presumably, perhaps. Yeah, so Gandalf uses his control, CC ability basically, and also Disturber of the Peace, and finishes things off with the Foe Hammer, and that entire clump of Rohan infantry is gone just like that, with tier 3, and also all the other heroes. So Aragorn is in danger here. Is getting chased by Kingsguard, headed by Eowyn and Eomer, and let's see. I think, not exactly sure what's happening here. Well, these guys have, like, they're super strong. They don't care about no Kingsguard, no anything. And besides that, you know, there are like 5 heroes over here. So, yeah. Interesting. If you're playing with this strategy, I would have also gone for the Lay of Leithian grade, and it has already been purchased. Okay, and yeah, great company. That's me and Anterias are thinking about the game in a very similar manner, it seems, because basically, yeah, a few times already in this game, I was about to suggest something, and I saw that exactly at that moment. He's doing that thing. It's a great company, which has also gone for the Rokentari, which is the elite cavalry of Rivendell. Very tanky horse archers plus horse lancers, you would say, because they're able to toggle formation, toggle weapon rather. And yeah, at this point, like, I'm pretty sure Anterias is thinking that he's won the game. Looking at the map, I'd probably say that that's very likely. But on the other hand, Excelsior has graded his barracks to level 3 and is going for the forged blades. And he's also, he's also about to grade the barracks to level 3. So I'm assuming he wants to go for either Helmingas or he also wants heavy armor. So these guys, the Kingsguard can get the forged blades, but they cannot get the heavy armor. So presumably this is for Helmingas. We'll see in a second. Righty. So this is what I wanted to talk about. So Great Company has really nice synergy with the entire Dunedain strategy. If you're going with like Strider, Sons of Elrond, Halbarad, all that stuff, then Great Company complements it super nicely. So, and also they're able to switch from bow to pike. So that's just an ideal counter to this Kingsguard. But this is going to be very problematic to deal with for Anterias. Kingsguard, 3 battalions of Kingsguard, or 2, or 3 battalions of Kingsguard with forged blades, with Eomer, with Eowyn. That is going to be incredibly hard to deal with, just in terms of map control. But I would say that at this moment, Anterias can just go for the fort. Really, like, what is he going to do? What is Excelsior going to do at this point? You've got 2 heroic battalions. You've got 4 or 5 heroes. You've got War Chant, or rather, Tangarohide in this case. And yeah, that's exactly... This once again proves that myself and Anterias think about the game, analyze the game in a very similar manner. But I think he noticed the upgrade on Rohan's fortress, which gives it additional armor. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this upgrade gives you additional armor against melee attacks. He instead destroys the level 3 stables, also a good catch. I think he needs to upgrade his fortress as well, and that's exactly what he's doing. I would have gone with these abilities too, because they can save you against the Kingsguard rush of the fortress, especially this. This one-shots basically any unit. Very powerful ability. Anyway, so Anterias is also getting very close to his tier 4, which is the Tom Bombadil summon. And Excelsior is upgrading his fortress entirely, so that Anterias cannot take it down only with heroes. Very interesting engagement here. Let's see what's happening. So 3 battalions of Kingsguard with forged blades. We've also got the Grey Company, right? Or where's the Grey Company? I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. One of the brothers is low health, although he's level 9. Oh, there's the Grey Company. They should have been here a long time ago. One of the brothers dies, and that means that the other's armor is debuffed. Damn, Kingsguard just deleted the Grey Company in melee mode. Really? What? I did not expect to see that. I mean, I know these guys can tank even pikeman units really well, but Grey Company, I mean, that's like a heroic unit. I would have assumed that they would just one-shot the Kingsguard. That is... I did not expect to see that, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think Anterias lost basically all of his heroes in that engagement. I wasn't sure what was happening there. Like, they were fighting in the trees. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I guess Kingsguard with forged blades is just like too much to deal with, Obviously, it has heroic type of damage. And supposedly, I haven't looked in the code, but supposedly, I mean, logically it should. Plus forged blades, so that's insane damage. As you can see, it just melts down the fort. And it literally just deleted the Grey Company. I mean, they were like half health, they were in full health. I guess that's also a big factor there. But still, anyway, so Anterias is like 1.5 points away from his tier 4 Bombadil summon. But doesn't really have much on the map. He's just trying to defend with these Ehtiadi units, basically the Rivendell, the Noldor pikemen, essentially. which is a very effective counter. I mean, okay, not a very effective counter to Kingsguard, because obviously Kingsguard can just outrun them, but Kingsguard cannot kill them, because if they fight in melee mode, as you can see, they die pretty quickly. And if you switch them to bow mode, then they deal like very little damage, almost no damage to them, because obviously these costs these pikeman units cost 800 and they have very high armor, so it's kind of logical. So yeah, Kingsguard really can't do anything against them. So this battalion is level 5, this one is level 3, and Rohan is just running around with his ears. I guess it makes sense, because Anterias was also going for a very funky strategy, so to speak. And Rohan is trying to counter that. And Theodred is level 6, which means that he grants 35 damage to nearby units and 20 armor, 10 attack to the heroes, except for Elfhelm. Yeah. Righty, so Anterias is just chasing after the Kingsguard, and I'm assuming he's trying to revive his heroes. That's correct. He has one of the brothers back up on the field. He needs to be careful. Yeah, so good decision with this, with the Floodgate expansion. That way you can at least try to save, you know, at least your library. Let's see. So Eomer is level 10, actually, which means he has access to Stand Your Ground. Well, he had access to it starting from level 8. So, and he kills one of the brothers once again. Now I'm not even sure if the other brother is on the field. Probably not. I can't see him. But yeah, so Eomer. So back to the, you know, heroes being OP topic. So Eomer's Thirst of Guthwine, this ability increases Spare Throw's damage. Significantly increases. I should mention that. And, you know, it's a bit too much, I would say, especially in combination with Eowyn's Spare Throw. It's a bit too much. So in 8.0, they're going to nerf Eomer in a way that Thirst of Guthwine still does all the other stuff, which is like splash damage and stuff, but it's not going to boost the damage dealt by, you know, Spear Throw rather. Okay, so Gendelf once again gets summoned, and he uses his stun ability, and oh yeah, and damn, what a great caster. So Anterias also summons his Tom Bombadil and puts these units to sleep with his Old Man Willow ability, and uses the Sonic Song ability on the Kingsguard, and deletes, you know, these Kingsguard units from existence, but 2 battalions survive. He couldn't kill them completely, although he does kill one of them. So, you know, Excelsior is left with just one leveled up level 5 Kingsguard battalion, but he started the production of dismounted Kingsguard, essentially Edoras Kingsguard, who are very effective as well, very strong units. His first resist is fully upgraded, so Anterias can't really take it down just like that, you know, with just the hero spam. With just hero spam, especially if it gets defended by other, you know, troops. So yeah, a bit of a standstill once again on the map. So just to summarize, so Rohan heroes, let's see, why are they considered OP by some? Because Thirst of Guthwine, but before we summarize, let me check if I'm actually recording. I am, so. So Thirst of Guthwine increases the Spear Throw damage, and that's in combination with Eowyn's Spear Throw. And then you have Theoden, which gives you heal and, you know, all the good stuff, Glorious Charge, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Then you've also got Theoden, who gives plus 10 additional attack damage to the heroes. So, like, really good synergy between the heroes there. You've got heal, you've got attack buff, also, you know, armor buff, attack buff, you know, damage buff, I should say. and faster movement speed and health regeneration. Righty. And then on the other hand, you've got Rivendell heroes, which also have really good synergy, because you've got, you know, two super tanky heroes, or rather one super tanky hero, the one of the brothers, Eladan. I think it's Eladan that gets the boost from his brother. Especially when they're leveled up, they become like really, really tanky. Aragorn himself.
A few moments later.
Apologies, I got distracted there a bit. So, just to finish my thoughts, so you've got one of the heroes that gets boosted by his brother. You've got Strider, which is also a very good hero. Gildor, Halbarad. Though, you know, nobody ever complains about Gildor and Halbarad. But basically, Sons of Elrond, Strider, and Elrond himself, obviously. And all of that under under double heal. One is from your PowerPoint, first tier ability, and the other is from Strider. And yeah, both are super, super effective. What was the saying of like the immovable rock and the something like that? Basically, I think you know what I mean. Okay, so Eowyn uses Spare Throw on Aragorn. Aragorn uses his heal, double heal actually. Anterias uses double heal. But Aragorn gets absolutely mowed down by the Kingsguard units. Damn, that is insane damage. I mean, I guess it makes sense because all of them have forged blades. Though the Lorathelin don't really care. Man, the Lorathelin, I need to check these guys' armor in code. They're so freaking tanky. They're not even on, you know, defensive stance. But they're so tanky, even without it. But he's gonna lose them here, because they're surrounded by the Kingsguard, you know, mounted and also dismounted. And once again, Anterias uses all of his heroes and also the Lorathelin battalion. I feel like he needs to, you know, yeah, this is what I, once again, this is what I wanted to say. You know, he needs to mix it up, mix up those units with some pikeman battalion and some normal infantry. He has armor graded on these, I think, yeah. So, where's his forge, actually? Let's see. It's here, so... This one is level 1, so I'm assuming he has... He probably has another one on the field, which I'm not able to locate just yet. So is this one. Yeah, level 2, almost level 3. So, he can get Anduril, the Flame of the West, which will definitely increase Aragorn's damage output against heroes. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're planning to end the game, even despite all of that has happened so far. So Kingsguard with Forged Blades deals insane damage. We'll take note of that. And I'm pretty sure they're going to win this engagement as well, I think. So they also have a debuff on level 3, which they're not using right now. Okay, so let's look at the big picture once again. So Rivendell has 2 tier 1s and then a standard 2, 3, 4, you know, second, third, and fourth tier. And besides that, also went for Blessing of Ulmo because, you know, Excelsior just a couple seconds ago used his own tier 3. Ere the sun rises, right? So, okay, and Excelsior also has access to the Last March of Ents. Righty. So, in terms of command points, what have we got in terms of the situation on the map? Excelsior has 910 with 250 active army. Anterias is trying to harass from that side. Yeah, so his 250 army is Kingsguard units exclusively, mounted and dismounted. And he's trying to get this level 3 forge as well. Has Anterias graded Anduril? I don't think he has. For some reason the icon is grayed out, but it still shows the cost of it. so I'm not sure if he's graded it or not. Rohan has all of his mounted heroes except Elfhelm over there. Level 3 farm is about to go down. Anterias are trying to destroy it, and Excelsior finishes upgrading his fortress. Clever thing to do in this matchup. I feel like Anterias is a bit lost as to how to counter the Kingsguard units, especially. You know, they're just wreaking havoc on his economy. He's trying to rebuild, but not sure how successful he's going to be. Excelsior loses one of his level 3 farms over here, and is about to lose this one too if the Kingsguard with all of the mounted Rohan heroes didn't arrive in time. But I think he's fine. He can also go with reshore. I think that's how it's called. Basically the rebuilding ability. But yeah, this strategy is proving to be very effective. I'm talking about the double Kingsguard spam, you know, mounted and dismounted. Against Rivendell is proving to be very, very effective. On the other hand, I feel like Anterias, there were a few situations in which he shouldn't really have lost his heroes if he had at least some cover for them. You know, I think in a few moments, there were a few moments in this match in which he was a bit too confident when pushing forward. So yeah. And that's what's proving to be the difference so far.
A few moments later.
This is a very, very powerful ability, and it's available to you on level 5 already. And Rohan, yeah, that's what was being talked about, I guess. You know, you've got Eomer with his Thirst of Guthwine, you've got Theoden with the heal if ever he gets low, you've got Theoden which buffs all of them by damage, and yeah, this hero clump becomes super strong and unpleasant to deal with. And Anterias finally summons the last March of Ants. Unless Anterias has access to his Lightning Strike ability, which he doesn't seem to have, it seems like this is going to be GG for him. I'm not sure how he's planning to save the fortress. He has graded the fortress for you know, more armor against attacks, but I'm not sure. Is that against melee attacks only, or just generally? I think no. I think it's just generally against all attacks. This battalion of Rohan isn't going to do anything to the ends, and Anterias is scrambling to, you know, get his units back to the base. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And indeed, his fortress is going to be destroyed, and that's basically the end of the game. Interesting. So in the end of the day, the Rohan hero spam proved to be more effective. Although I would say that what turned the tides of this battle weren't the heroes, but rather the Kingsguard. I mean, they dealt insane damage to the Grey Company and basically everyone, including the heroes, which makes sense, right? So heroic units are obviously very good in killing heroes, fighting against heroes, and so it wasn't Eomer and Eowyn, you know, or rather Eomer and Eowyn, to pronounce it a bit better, that took down Rivendell heroes. I think it was more of Kingsguard, you know, that effectively countered them. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this matchup. Is it in favor of Rivendell or Rohan, and which faction has the more OP heroes? Interesting cast generally. I think this one was way better than the last one, although I'm not sure which one I will post the first one. So anyway, I'm just gonna end it there, and see you guys in the next one.